The movie begins with three guys testing for radioactivity in the New Mexico desert. Suddenly a bloody man jumps into one of the guys' view, begging for help. Pluto, a mutant disfigured by nuclear trying out, stabs one of the men and violently bangs him on the ground. The different two men are then shortly slaughtered and chained to the back of a car, which is pushed away. Ethel Carter, Kathleen Quinlan, and her husband, Big Bob Carter, Ted Levine, a retired police detective, are touring from Cleveland, Ohio to San Diego, California on their silver wedding ceremony anniversary. Also existing is their daughter Brenda, Emily DeRavin, son Bobby, Dan Bird, eldest daughter Lynn, Vanessa Shaw, her husband Doug Bukowski, Aaron Stanford, their child daughter Catherine, Maisie Camilleri Preziosi, and the German shepherds, Beauty and Beast. While Big Bob talks to the fuel station manager, we see a mutant take hold of Bobby's pink sweatshirt out of the vehicle and run off. Bobby and Brenda head away from the constructing and Bobby goes into a close-by outhouse. He is urinating when he sees anyone observing him via the window. It used to be the mutant who stole his pink sweatshirt from the car. After believing one of the household has considered the contents of the holdall, the attendant tells Bob of a shortcut via the hills which is truly the secret trap. After using a few miles alongside the shortcut, the tires are punctured by means of a hidden spike belt and the truck's wheels burst, inflicting the truck to crash into a close-by ditch. Bob walks lower back to the gasoline station for a tow truck, and Doug walks the contrary way to get help. Meanwhile, the last participants of the household are being watched via anybody through a pair of binoculars. Beauty runs off into the hills and Bobby chases after her, in the end discovering her gutted corpse. Frightened and distraught, Bobby runs off, however slips and falls, knocking himself unconscious. A younger girl mutant named Ruby, who had stolen his sweatshirt, Laura Ortiz, comes throughout him and is intrigued by using him, whilst her brother Goggle, Ezra Buzzington, chews over the useless dog. Later, Bob eventually makes it to the station and finds the hysterical gasoline station attendant, who commits suicide by means of taking pictures himself in the head. In fear, Bob tries to flee from the scene in a car. But he receives attacked via the mutant leader, Papa Jupiter, Billy Drago, and receives carried off into the mining caves close by through Jupiter, alongside with Jupiter's eldest son, Lizard, Robert Joy, and Pluto. When Bobby awakes, he returns to the trailer and does now not inform his household of Beauty's demise. Lynn tells him that they tried the CB and heard heavy breathing. Beast breaks free of his chain and runs into the hills, the place he finds what's left of Beauty. Doug returns from the street he traveled, a lifeless quid which ended in a bomb crater stuffed with cars, with a fishing pole, a baseball bat, and a teddy bear. Bobby is involved about his father who has now not but returned. Doug guarantees Bobby they will search for Bob if he does now not return via midnight. As they attempt to sleep, Pluto sneaks into the trailer, finds Brenda, and tries to rape her. Outside the trailer, Bobby wakes up Lynn and Doug, telling them about the human beings in the hills, and of Beauty's death. Inside, Pluto holds Brenda down and prevents her from screaming. The others are about to find out Pluto when suddenly, an explosion in the distance attracts their attention. Discovering that Bob has been tied to a tree and set on fire, Doug runs into the trailer to fetch a hearth extinguisher as Lizard slips interior unnoticed. As everybody unknowingly leaves the helpless Brenda on my own with the two violent men, Lizard notices Pluto's unsuccessful efforts to rape Brenda. Furious, he throws Pluto off and does it himself. Pluto then sees Catherine in her crib and observes her as Lizard continues to rape Brenda. Doug manages to put out the fire, and unties Bob, already dead, whilst Lynn returns to the trailer to see why Brenda is screaming and is greeted via Lizard, retaining child Catherine and Big Bob's gun whilst Pluto is maintaining Brenda. After Lynn hits him with a frying pan, Lizard disarms her and threatens Catherine with the gun. He forces open Lynn's shirt and sucks the milk from her breasts. Ethel enters with a massive flat rock, trying to pulverize Lizard, however Pluto calls out to warn him. Lizard, recognizing her, shoots her in the stomach. Lynn then makes use of a screwdriver and stabs Lizard, who then shoots her in the head. Pluto and Lizard flee the trailer, maintaining Brenda and Catherine hostage. When Lizard hears Doug and Bobby approaching, he tries to shoot Brenda, however the gun is out of bullets. He guarantees Brenda that he will be again for her earlier than fleeing with Pluto, who nevertheless has the baby. Doug and Bobby return to the trailer, find out the bodies, and recognize that Catherine has been taken. Goggle, the mutant who killed Beauty, watches the trailer through binoculars, however he is attacked and killed by means of Beast. The subsequent morning, Doug goes off in pursuit of their attackers. Beast leads Doug through a tunnel that consists of the graves of miners. Once out of the tunnel, Doug finds an deserted nuclear trying out village and enters the residence, the place Catherine is kept, however is knocked unconscious through Big Mama, Ivana Turchetto, who he idea used to be busy observing television. He then awakes in an icebox, the place the mutants maintain the bodies of their victims. He panics and bangs on the plastic cover, ultimately knocking it loose. He returns to his venture of discovering Catherine, solely to come across Big Brain, Desmond Askew, who tells him the story of the mutants, who have been mutated by way of the fallout from the nuclear tests, and then getting attacked by means of Pluto, who breaks through a door. After a fierce struggle, in the course of which Doug loses the ring finger and pinky on his left hand, he is in a position to trick him by pretending to cry. Pluto laughs and receives momentarily distracted, giving Doug time to slam a screwdriver via his foot and the floor, pinning him down. He then takes a small American flag and shoves it through the again of Pluto's throat, and subsequently finishes him via slamming the blade of his very own axe into his head. Doug then surprises the mutant cyst Gregory Nicotero, backyard the residence, and makes use of Pluto's axe to kill him, slicing his knee open and knocking him over the hood of a car, the place he is axed in the again, and is in the end killed when Doug swings the choose give up into his eye. Doug takes his shotgun and heads off. Big Brain tells Lizard to kill Catherine, however is killed through Beast. Lizard takes a cleaver and prepares to kill Catherine, however finds that as a substitute of Catherine, it is a pig. Ruby has taken Catherine and run into the hills. Lizard is aware of this and starts a evolve to chase her, enraged through her deceit. Doug sees Ruby on the hill and chases her as well. At the trailer, Ethel's physique is stolen and dragged into the hills, and Bobby finds Papa Jupiter consuming Ethel's heart. Jupiter pursues Bobby to the trailer, the place Brenda releases gasoline from the propane tanks as Bobby runs inside, attaching a strip of suits to the sliding door at the back of him. Bobby binds Papa Jupiter's hand to the window. After he and Brenda escape, Jupiter breaks free of the bungee cord, and opens the sliding door, which strikes the fits and ignites the fuel internal the trailer, inflicting it to explode. In the hills, Ruby is about to return Catherine to Doug when Lizard attacks. Doug beats and then shoots Lizard in the chest, neck, and subsequently the shoulder. Ruby offers Catherine again to Doug, who does no longer word Lizard stand up, having survived. Ruby throws herself at Lizard, plunging them over a cliff, stopping Lizard from capturing Doug and Catherine and sacrificing herself in the process. Bobby and Brenda stroll via the ruins of their trailer and discover Papa Jupiter nevertheless alive, even though impaled. Brenda kills Papa Jupiter with a pickaxe to the head. Brenda then spots Doug with Catherine and Beast, and the four are reunited. As they have a good time, their obvious victory, a pair of nameless binoculars watches